Well, hello there, YouTube people and family and friends. How are y'all doing today? It's a nasty day out today, guys, and this pollen is still whooping my butt. My eyes get real puffy and red and itchy and everything else. And my voice, too, it starts getting really weird. But the day today is not a very good one. You see the clouds are all in the sky. It looks like it might rain, but according to the forecast so far, it's not supposed to rain today, but it looks like it anyways. I'm just sitting here on the bench. I got a business move I have to make, and I don't know what route I want to take as far as it's concerned, but I'm asking God to lead the way. He's my Father. He's the one that leads me out of despair and into the championship of champions. Give me that W. So, anyways, there's some guys working across the street over there. I guess they're gonna come over here and tear up over here too. They look like little kids playing in a sandbox. But I guess it's all for good. I think I might have McDonald's today. I don't know. I don't really like to go to McDonald's. I'm not super fond of it, but it's right close by, and I don't know. Lately, I get tired real fast of all this food. I was getting tired of the food in the restaurant, so I started going to the mall. And now that I'm going to the mall, I'm getting tired of that food, and I went to McDonald's the other day. I really don't like McDonald's, to be honest with you. I'd rather eat Burger King than McDonald's. I just really don't like McDonald's. I don't know, as a kid, maybe a little bit, but I don't know. As I got older, I just stopped liking McDonald's, period. But there was a time that I was working, and I had two friends named Christian. It was really hard to keep wraps and control over that, because I'd say Christian and they'd both say yeah. But yeah, I had two friends named Christian. One of them was a straight up white boy, Caucasian, whatever you want to call him. And the other one was Hispanic. And the Hispanic one was really highly intelligent, and the other guy, not at all. And then a friend named Victor, and he was Caucasian also. And then we were all in the car going home from work, and we had just dropped the Hispanic Christian off, and the Caucasian Christian was driving. And Victor and I were in the back seat, and all of a sudden, boom! I hit the back of the seat. I swear I was hurt for like over a week. I mean, that's how much of a boom it was. But apparently Christian had fallen asleep behind the wheel of the car and hit this Cadillac that was right in front of him or whatever. And when I came to reality, and Victor did too, there was an old guy laying in the road, and his wife was kneeling over him, crying and screaming and hollering at Christian that he shouldn't have fallen asleep behind the wheel of the car or whatever. And it was really a mess. And I don't know, the guy didn't look well at all, but he looked like he was probably about 68, 70, 75, somewhere in that neighborhood. And he just didn't look well at all. And you know, I said a prayer for him, but they they took our information down and sent us on our way. Christian, ultimately, he got his license taken away. I think it was revoked, actually. It wasn't even suspended. And I don't know. It was pretty bad. But he had wrecked his car, but it was just the whole front clip of the car. He had one of those old school Monte Carlos, like 79, 80, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it was just a bad situation. I don't even know how to explain it any better than that, but it was just terrible. And that was all the perks of waking up at 5:30 in the morning to go to work and then getting home like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was a machine operator back then. That's one thing that I didn't talk about, all the particular positions that I held as operator. At the silk tree plant, first I manually drilled holes into these branches, basically, but you know, they were made into trees, but I drilled these holes into them, then I had to stick the ends in glue and then stick them into these trees. And we did the initial part of that. You know, we put all the branches into the holes, and then the tree went down, I guess you could call it an assembly line or whatever, to the end where this one woman would, you know, fill all the empty spots in. But there were two women that actually had the tree before it got down to that lady, so she was like doing the absolute finishing touches on everything. But after that, you know, it looked really like a tree. If you touched it, it kind of felt like a tree. It was like silk, so it wasn't this cheap plastic or nothing like that. They were beautiful trees. We had Christmas trees that they would give away during Christmas time. And, you know, it was a pretty good company. They had one big layoff, and like 50 people got laid off, but I wasn't one of them. Then I actually ran this foamer. There was a foam machine, and I used to put the foam into the pots. I did that for a short time. And then after I left from there, where did I go? I went to Abco and Major Vending. I was actually in vending. I delivered vending machines. I filled vending machines up with candies and Cokes and all of this and that. And I also delivered them. I'll never forget this one day, this guy, Ed, and he was a black dude. He was really cool. We went fishing together several times. Anyways, we were going to Marietta, Georgia. And we were on Windy Hill Road. And there's a hill. I mean, it's literally a hill. If you were on a skateboard, you'd love that area. Anyways, before I left, my boss said, I want to make sure you understand that those brakes on that truck are not good. So if you have an accident, don't come back. And I was like, oh man, what kind of stuff is that, you know? So anyways, we were at the top of this hill at a light, and as soon as the light changed to green, I just barely hit the gas, and that hill just took me real fast. And I tried to slow down. I pumped the brakes a couple of times, but they were just on the floor. And all of the traffic in front of me had stopped, and there was this lady in the turn lane She was driving a Lexus, and I just all out barreled into the back of her. I couldn't get any brake at all, and I just plowed into the back of that car. That whole back, the trunk area of the car and everything just went up into the back seat. That's how bad it was. And I said, oh my goodness gracious, I thought I was done, had it. You know, I didn't know what to think. And Ed and I got out of the truck, and the lady drove off. And I was like, what is this? So we waited there for about 30 minutes, and she never did come back. So I got in the truck, and Ed got in the truck. We drove off and went, delivered the machines. And after I delivered the machines, I got on the phone. I called my boss. He was actually my dad's best friend, but, you know, he was serious about the truck because that's all he had. He didn't want to get sued for the bad brakes. He should have fixed them anyways, but, you know, that was him. And I called him. I said, well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. I said, which do you want first? He said, well, what's the bad news? I said, well, over there on Windy Hill Road, I lost the brakes and ran right into the back of this Lexus. He said, well, I don't know how there could be any good news in that. I said, well, I stood there, the lady drove off. He said, well, maybe she didn't have insurance or whatever. And I didn't really know, and he didn't know either. He was just guessing. But I said, well, you know, I guess it's a good thing. He said, well, you're safe now. You can come back. We have your paycheck waiting for you anyways. And so I drove back. I got my paycheck, and I went on home. But it was a wild ride, you know, like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in Disney World, you know. It was a wild ride. And I never had a ride like that again in my life. I don't think in my own vehicle I could have been so lucky. Somebody would have got out and thrown the book at me, called the cops, and I'd be in a whole heck of a lot of trouble. But in this case, I was in zero trouble. Nobody got my name. Nobody knew. I don't know. They just didn't even stop. They didn't even worry about it. And I was blessed beyond blessed. And so that's what happened in that case. I have a lot more stories, guys. I mean, my life has been a roller coaster ride since I started it, and I never did seem to get off of it. It was just up and down all the time, you know. And some of them were real high up in the air, where it took me a while to get down from them. But all in all, you know, at least I was sober, and, you know, I wasn't on drugs or nothing that I can't remember anything. I remember everything exactly as if it was, so. But, I hope everybody's doing well today. I guess I'm gonna go down to the McDonald's now. It's around 11:15 a.m. And so I'm gonna go buy me lunch and then go on down to the mall. I'll probably make another video by the time I get down there. But wherever you're at, you know, if you're here in the U.S., good morning to you. Anywhere else, good afternoon and good evening and good night if you're ready to go to sleep, because it probably is sleeping time. I know it is in the Philippines. You know, those that do sleep over there, you know, on a regular basis, unless you're working or whatever. To the cops in Manila, how are y'all doing? I hope you're all fine. I really do. I miss being there with you all. You know, I can remember when y'all cooked and And Abdul, when you sent out for the food and that, I was very grateful for that. If you ever come here, I will take care of you 100%, you and your family. I was very grateful for that. Somebody told me that you don't often do that for anybody, so I just felt special just because. And I thank you so much for that, for all your hospitality, all of you all. One thing I didn't like there was your cheap motorcycles. But I understand they come from China, and I'm not really big on China things anyways. I try not to buy China stuff here. Japan is a different story, especially when it comes to electronics. But as far as China's concerned, boo, 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 boo. I mean, you got, what, over 3 billion people in that country? And they can't make something, with a lot of quality to it. It's just junk. Just a bunch of junk. So anyways, I love you guys. Love you all very, very much. Love yourself. Love God. And by all means, love each other, guys. Till the next time, thank you so much for your time. And I will see you later.